Well, some of you have already lived most of your 60 years in 10, and some beyond those years. And you can tell your story and look back and discover and remind us of what it meant for you to respond to God's call to follow through most of your life. And that would be interesting, that would be wonderful, perhaps even sad and tragic at times, mixed with hardship and joy. And we each have a story to tell. But today it's my turn. And very little of my story will be ancient history because I'm still so young. I've only served my church as a Seventh-day Adventist minister for 30 years. And now I've served the larger community as a healthcare chaplain for the last 15 months. But most of my story today transpired within the last 2 years, and much of it within the last couple of days. At the age of 7, while in first grade in a little one-room school in Middle River, Minnesota, 40 miles from the Canadian border, God called me to be a minister. Do you think I knew what He was asking of me? I mean, my father was a farmer. He couldn't model for me what it meant to be a pastor. And what I knew about ministry was that our pastor came maybe at least once, maybe twice a month to our little church to preach. I knew that much. He came once in a while to tell stories to us in our one-room church school, and he would come sometimes early enough to play marbles with us at recess. And he took us in gathering. Oh, I'm sorry, I used a bad word. That's about all I knew about what it meant to be a pastor. But God called me. And when I said yes to God's call back in 1959, I didn't have a clue what He was getting me into and what I had agreed to do. I didn't know what I was signing up for. All I knew was that I had accepted His invitation to follow, and it's been an interesting journey. I'm an introvert. I'm shy. It scares me to get up front. I'm afraid people will ask me questions I don't have answers for. I don't like to fail. I don't like the feeling of being vulnerable. And I'm stoic and I stuff my emotions and I'm a perfectionist and a workaholic with high expectations of myself, and I don't have very many friends. Not the most promising resume prospect for ministry, I would think. But if I circulated a resume today with my educational history and work experience, it might surprise you. It surprises me when I look at it. Graduated in 1975 with a bachelor's degree in theology. Graduated seminary in 1978 with a master's of divinity degree. Defended my dissertation and graduated with a doctorate of ministry in 1990 at the age of 37. Wow, I even beat my father-in-law. He was in his 40s when he got his doctorate. Pastored churches in Minnesota, Ohio, and Idaho. Served on 2 conference executive committees, Academy Operating Board, Conference Personnel and Finance Committees, Ministerial Director, member of the North Pacific Union Conference Executive Committee for 7 years, served a 5-year term on the North American Division Committee, and that's only a partial list. That's me. This, all in the course of following my call into ministry. It may sound exciting to some of you, boring to others. It impresses me for a little while. Then why did I make such a seismic shift away from being a church pastor a few months ago? Because I realized that what I was doing as a pastor and a conference administrator was not fulfilling my call to ministry. I was not using my strongest spiritual gifts. And I knew that one of my strongest gifts was in pastoral care. You know what? With committee meetings every night of the week, except for prayer meeting. I always said went to prayer meeting Wednesday night. There's no time to visit. There's no time to do pastoral care. Going off to all the committee meetings and administrative stuff. There's no time to do pastoral care. Most pastors can't visit anyone, even if they want to. I wanted to, but I allowed my schedule to be so overwhelmed with things that either I didn't like to do or were not related to my passion for